Day 2 of Greenbuild Cornwall is about the public. It's about them understanding and engaging with the sector which has moved on, but feeding back to the businesses and saying, okay, explain this to me so that I can understand it, so I can relate to it, so I can learn to live in this green building that you're giving me.
I think that a sustainable Cornwall will be a creative, innovative place that trades with the world and has a reputation for high quality thinking, that practices the art of directly, the real art of directly, which is that it doesn't do something until all the factors affecting that thing are perfectly aligned, okay? Which is a really important element in our cultural values.
Many communities through millennia have been effectively sustainable because life was fairly sustainable until recently. And the issue now is whether they can be sustainable in an environment which is clearly unsustainable, whether local populations can actually take the initiative to show that it's possible to be sustainable, because the country is made up of populations, so if one population can do it, clearly you can replicate that across the whole country.
It's made ourselves incredibly reliant on one thing.
The concept of sustainability has become tired or misused. I think perhaps a more useful term to use would be resilient community. Resilience being an ecological term, and it's to do with how able an ecosystem is to deal with shock. And of course we've got a number of shocks at the moment. We've got economic shocks, we've got climatic shocks, we've got energy shocks, we're coming up to a food shock. And really it's how well a community, whether you're talking about a very small village community or a wider social network or fabric, can cope with those impacts.
A whole range of things that we're getting into, and the critical thing is that people are joining in. I think it's too early to yet be saying we are now 75% less dependent on fossil fuel than we were 20 years ago. You know, these things will come in time. The main thing is really at the moment to get people engaged and begin to raise awareness of what's around the corner.
I think what we need to do is learn to recognise what are resources, both human and finite, and how we can actually bring them together and close the loop. So it's a question of understanding how things work and where we waste things and how we can use what's available resourcefully.